Good afternoon. We are 3 out of 9 lessons through the unit of Year 1 Biological Science. This is Year 1, it's a 60-minute lesson. We are looking at identifying, like our content descriptor for this lesson is identify the basic needs of plants and animals, including air, water, food and shelter, and describe how these places live and meet the needs of those around them. The lesson overview. So last lesson, our Year 1 students looked around the school environment after Cyclone Alfred, and we were looking at and taking pictures of trees around our school environment, such as like the broken ones or the really healthy ones that survived Cyclone Alfred. And we took that back to the classroom and we said, why did this occur? So this lesson introduces a hands-on STEM experiment to deepen their understanding of their plants and to require what plants require to survive. So thinking back to our 4 strong points, through inquiry-based learning, students will engage with scientific predictions, experiment, and da-da-da. So, okay, I'm gonna start teaching now. Why is my laptop doing that? Okay. So, do we not remember what we did last lesson? So think back to what we did. Did anyone remind me of what we did?
We went on a nature walk?
Yes, we did. So I want everyone to take out their iPads and have 2 seconds of flicking time through the photos that we took. Look at what trees we took photos of. Okay, so what did we notice about where plants grow? Can someone help me answer that? What do we notice about them? Yeah, Jude?
They grow where there's a lot of grass.
Yes, no, that is good. Lots of grass keeps our trees very solid in the ground. Yes, so?
Sunny. It's like there's a lot of sun.
Yes, awesome, great point. I'm gonna go back to Sophie soon, but that's a really good point. What trees did we see around our school? So what, did we see a lot of big trees? Do we see a lot of dead trees? What did we see, Jude?
We saw a lot of gum trees and big leafy trees.
Yeah, we did. So a lot of our school environment has lots of gum trees to provide lots of shade for all of our students. I'm going to move on. So I'm going to write the 4 concepts that I want us to look at just for plants. It is a little bit different to what we will be looking for our animals, but this will always come back to what we're doing. So, like we have looked at last lesson, we looked at these 4 essential things that plants need to survive. So, sunlight, water, air, and food. So, I'm going to bring up 2 of the photos that I saw from last lesson around our environment, our school environment, and we're going to answer a couple questions. Jude, can I have a piece of paper? Thank you. So, looking at this photo, and looking at our dead tree that we had to unfortunately cut down, what do we notice about the tree? Especially our unhealthy tree. What did we notice about it?
It looks like it's about to break.
Yeah, it does. It's been through torment. What do we think makes our healthy trees healthy? So really think about this one because our answers may be on the board. Yeah,
Well, maybe because they have a lot of sunlight and water and food, we can see that their leaves are really green and they look healthy.
yes, that is massive, massive thumbs up. So we are going to now look at our inquiry question. We don't really get many of those in Year 1 Science, but for this experiment it will make perfect sense. So we are going to look at in our next segment of our lesson, sorry, not teaching yous anymore, In our next segment of my lesson, we're going to look at and make year ones do an experiment where they have 3 different cups, and they all are in different conditions. So like we have one cup with no water but has sunlight. We have another cup with no sunlight but water, and then we have a cup that has both water and sunlight. And we're going to see what taking away of those, like taking one of these essential things away, what happens to the plant. Like, does it live? And they'll do that through their things. So the inquiry question that we're really going to focus on is if plants don't get one of these needs, like water, sunlight, nutrients, air, or correct soil health, what do we think will happen? Okay, that will lead. In this section, I'm now going to demonstrate to students the process. I keep my demonstration out just to allow students to come back to it to know the process. On their lab books, which we'll get after my demonstration, they also have the setup and what they need to do. Plus they have they're in pairs, so they'll always have their little partner and they'll always be circulated by teachers. So, okay, so now we move on to the teaching bit. Okay, so now we move on to our experiment. So I want us to think like scientists today, and we're going to test if we remove one of these essential 4 things from a plant's life, what happens to it. So we are actually going to test that. So on your desk, you and your partner, we're doing this in 2, will get these things on your desk. So we'll get cotton wool, we'll get soil, you'll get some seeds, you'll get 4 plastic cups, a teaspoon, and some water in a spray bottle. We've done it in a spray bottle just so everyone's group is the exact same and we're not, that is a controlled variable. Okay, so grab your soil mix and I want you to put 2 teaspoons in your glass. I'm just going to do 1 for the time being, just to pass some time. Okay, now I want you to grab, everyone put your hands on your head once you've done that. Now, your other partner is going to get 4 cotton wool for each of them and put them on top of the soil, making sure that soil is covered. Okay, now our other partner is going to pick our seed. So which seed would you like?
Oh.
Pick 1, 2. We need 3.
This one is a good one. This is a big one.
Oh, that one's half gone. Perfect. Making sure our seeds are whole, and we're going to put them in the side that we can see, making it very clear. Your cups should already be labelled. We labelled them just to show safety for year 1 students around permanent markers. Now, I want you to pick up your spray bottle. Pick it up. And I want you to give 5 squirts for each one, besides the no water. Can we see the no water one? So we're going to put that on the end of our desk, making sure we don't do it. And 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. It's sprayed. Perfect. So now we're going to come back and I'm going to leave these up here. So now this gets to the important section. So every student will have a lab book. It is quite hefty, but it's a 3-week lab book. So, but this is sort of a formative assessment, and then another formative assessment will be our animals, and then our summative, I believe they're going to choose between animals or plants. So it's just good practice before they need to do anything. So now looking back into it, and now that we've done, tell students to go to the first page. So everyone turn to the first page of our lab book. This is where we're going to make predictions. So, what do we think will happen? Looking at our cups, we have the shady spot. So this one will be in our cupboards. We have the sunny spot that has sunny water and sun. And then we have no water. So that will be in the sun but has no water to it. What do we think each of them will do? I've started the sentence for you. So I said, I think this plant will, and then you'll go da 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 because da 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 da. I've provided 3 lines. I want you to write to the 3 lines. So I want you to really focus on our 4 significant things of plant life. So, for example, I have a shady spot. I honestly think the shady spot will do the best. So I would say, I think this plant will survive the best because it has lots of water and air in the cupboard. So I've detailed why I believe it's going to survive, and I touched on our 4 significant things. So have students do that first page, and the teacher will monitor them walking around the classroom. So, oh, good job, Sophie, good work. And then we move on to our second page. So, once we have all completed that, I want you to turn to your 3rd page. So, I provided you a big box. I want you to draw our experiment in this big box and label it. On the side, I have done one of ours. So, this is what I expect year 1. It is quite detailed, but every cup will look the same. So, once one student have done that, they can either move on. This is where you either have an extension activity where they fill in what they can see, smell during the experiment, but understandable if they're too tired, they are year 1. But this is an essential bit of our lab book, is their time to observe. So on the first day, this is the first day, they'll draw 3 cups. There is no need to label it. And on day 3, which will be Wednesday, they will draw the cups to see if there's any change. So through the 3 weeks, they will draw the difference between them. So yeah. So every lesson on the second day, so it's Monday today, on Wednesday, you come in the morning, I will have everyone's experiment set out, and on your time to observe sheet, you will draw the next thing that you see. So we will do this for 3 weeks, and we will see how our plant looks at the end of it. So we are going to revisit our success criteria. Completely missed that. Awesome. So 1, did we name the 4 things that we need plant to survive?
Mm-hmm.
Did you, Sophie? Or did you
Did it
not?
on the board?
Yeah.
Yeah, so big tick. 2, could you explain how plants need to survive or need to grow? And were you able to say what plant was going to grow the best in your observation sheet? Give me a big tick in the air if you could. Perfect. We look like we're excelling learners. Our 3rd one was I can explain what plants need and why, which we should have done in number 2. And I can put it to real life elements. So what happens in real life? So did we do that? Big tick. Perfect. Okay, so next lesson, we're actually going to move on from plants. We're going to start looking at animals, and we're going to start looking at ocean animals for our thing. Our first lesson. But serious question is, do we think animals need the same thing as plants to survive?
Yeah.
Yeah? Jude, what do you think?
I think no.
No. Oh, so we'll touch on this next lesson. Awesome, well done then.